Right here at Yad Vashem, besides me is our wonderful guest for this week's seminar at Yad Vashem, Dr. Shauli from the Ilan University. Welcome, it's very nice to see you again.
You too.
Right, when we talked about the Holocaust here at Yad Vashem, of course we know this week marks the 75th anniversary of the successful revolt at Sobibor. So in Hong Kong, we have commemorative event and screening of a new Russian film called Sobibor that will take place at Chinese University of Hong Kong. So our friends in Hong Kong, feel free to check our info on our Facebook page about the screening. But also talking about Sobibor commemoration, collective memory, one important message you spread and you talk to educators at Yad Vashem is about when it's not recorded in collective memory, it does not exist. You always say you cannot emphasize this enough. Why so?
Well, we know from our personal experiences in life that even if we suffer and we don't have the words or the terms in which to express and communicate this suffering to others, we tend to question our own memories, and question our own experiences. I always give the example of terms like child abuse or sexual harassments, which were coined rather lately. And people, before they were coined, could not actually point to this thing that happened to them and say, okay, something bad has happened, but what is this something? Same thing applies to genocide, which is also a new word, and to Holocaust, which is a new word. And this is why I want to emphasize, as you said, that we need to connect our memories and communicate them to other people in order to be able to remember for our own sake.
That's why it can carry on into generations after generations. This, or as we always say, never forget. But got to be through collective memory.
Yeah, it's got to be through collective memory for the future and also for the present. In order for us to understand what has happened, we have to put it in terms that we can understand. So when we talk about events that happened in China, for instance, the Nanjing massacre or the rape of Nanjing, or as some revisionist Japanese historians would call it, the incident, the China incident, we're talking about very different terms and which refer to very different concepts of what has happened.
And that's why language is utterly important when it comes to that.
Of the utmost importance, yes.
That's right. And you just mentioned a bit about World War II in China, as you say, Nanjing atrocities and all the painful memories, particularly, of course, when we talked about Unit 731, the biochemical warfare in China during the Second World War. One important bit when we talked about war trials, of course, perpetrators in the Unit 731 often it puzzled people why they escaped a proper verdict or judgment. And I know you will soon go to China to talk about in Shanghai to talk to students, to talk to the public about war criminals, war crime. Can you elaborate a bit more about your upcoming tour?
Yes, Jiaotong University. I'm very thankful to them because they have invited me to talk about massacres of Chinese in Southeast Asia, and these massacres, like the experiments that were done in China, have evaded justice and evaded verdict. So you can look at trials that were done by the British and the Australians in Singapore and in Rabaul in Papua New Guinea, and see that justice was not actually done in the case or in cases where the victims were Chinese. And I want to suggest there that China might look at the Israeli law as a precedent. And Israel, as you know, was established in 1948 after the Holocaust. But the Israeli law was written and promulgated in a way which is extraterritorial and is also valid and extended its jurisdiction to places and outside of Israel and to people who are not Israeli citizens.
I see.
So China can, if it wants to, use this precedent when it considers coming to terms with the memory of the Second World War.
When will your lecture take place in Shanghai, Jiao Tong University?
In mid-November, of November 14th.
I see.
As I remember.
So we'll also post the event info online on our Facebook page. If by any chance you'll be in Shanghai and near Shanghai Jiao Tong University, I think by all means, visit Dr. Shauli's lecture. Thank you so much again here at Yad Vashem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.